Hello. I don't know exactly where I'm going to go with this, right? I just want to vent. At the minute today in the BBC, they're going on the judges are watching porn on their computers at court. You got the BBC reporting that 30 years ago the police have basically admitted they are liable. They are liable to the deaths of 96 people. They caused it. They fucked it up. They covered it up. There's reports in the BBC that the police have covered up the rape of children through hierarchical people, through celebrities, through politicians, through councillors, through the people that are supposed to represent me and you. And this is the BBC. Now, if the BBC is reporting this, what the fuck is really going on? Right? Like I said, I don't really know where I'm going with this. The establishment give you double-edged swords every single time for you to consent to. You take the EU for example. There was a referendum in 1975 for us to go into the EU, and democracy led us into the EU. Led us into something that in 1945 our fathers or our grandfathers fought against, our mothers or our grandmothers, they fought against bitterly. Now, our sovereignty has been given to the EU in 1975, and we are now given an option to come out of it, but it's a double-edged sword. What David Cameron is saying, I will take our sovereignty away from Angela Merkel, away from the EU, but by the way, that means we're going to lose our human rights. And don't worry, you can trust me, Mr. David Cameron, to rewrite your human rights. Even though he's been ignoring them, he's been ignoring our human rights and the European Human Rights Act throughout his term. So how can we trust him to write a new set of human rights? And what's the alternative? To leave our sovereignty with Europe. And it's the same thing with voting here. I was watching Question Time live a couple of weeks back, and you had Labour accusing the Tories of being funded by hedge funders, by the House of Lords, essentially, and you had the Tories accusing Labour of being funded by leftist unions. And it seemed to me they completely forget why they're there. And they're just bickering, they're playing their pantomime, here, right? To get votes, because people put their allegiance on one side or another. It's like football teams, it's like Chelsea and Arsenal, or City and United, red and blue. People put their allegiances there and they stick with that, regardless. Right? But what they're basically saying is the Tories are funded by banks, and it's the same thing with Labour. It's just in a different name, through unions that sold out years ago in a way. They're not working for me and you. It's a double-edged sword. Do you vote for this or that? Because they are not working for us. They are working for the people that are funding them. Be it hedge funders or unions. And this is why you've got to stop voting. This is why because it doesn't matter. They could go to war in Timbuktu. They could go to war in Timbuktu. And they will tell us the reasons why through the BBC. And then in 30 years we'll find out it's a lie, or in 2 years, or in 4 years. But by then people like Tony Blair or Margaret Thatcher, they're long dead or hiding from justice. And their lies get swept under the carpet. Right? And you can vote red or blue. You can buy your ticket to City or United, or Chelsea and Arsenal. Right? But it's going to be a piss poor performance. And it's not going to be what you want to see. And they can go to war in Timbuktu, and we can go, 2 million of us, and march against it. But it doesn't stop it. They don't listen to us. Because they're not working for us. And this is what I'm trying to get at. I'm rambling, I know I am. But I hope you're just getting my message. That if you say it's not in our name, don't put it in your name. Right? If you're on the electoral register, get the fuck off the electoral register. Not in our name. Right? And it is in your name. You are consenting to it. And this is how they're doing it. And if you want to change it, don't vote for any of them. Not a single one of them. Because it is a pantomime. They're not working for us. They're working for hedge funders in the House of Lords. They're working for banks that have ripped us off and destroyed our lives and killed our friends. That's all for now. Peace.